So they sent this little warning, they're prepared to do their worst.
I can think of quite another place they should have stuck it first.
Greetings, fellow mortals. Just a reminder, saying it's just my opinion is for cowards. Of course it's my opinion, I'm saying it, right? Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. Talk about a blast from the past. It's one of the few RPGs that I actually finished as a child. I love everything about it, especially the story, except, well, for one part with Vivian. When I was younger, I hated the fact that the Western release was altered to change the fact that she was a trans character. Her actual status didn't change anything about the fact that she is my favorite party member. One, I thought it sucked that the Division's creator was altered at all. Two, I didn't like that they were erasing Vivian's story. Honestly, the trans aspect adds a lot to her storyline with her sisters. Oh, and if you have a problem with Vivian being trans, I honestly don't care if you click off this video or if you dislike it. You can do whatever you want, act however you want, but I don't care if you're here or not. On that note, I also have a lot of problems with the side that's suddenly all about being faithful to Eastern writers' original vision. There are so many problems with translators for Japanese entertainment, sometimes Korean too. Hello, I can just input what the characters are saying into Google Translate and get a pretty decent idea of what they're saying. All that translators and localizers need to do, for the most part, is to clean up what the actual translation is. That's 90% of the job. This isn't hard. Be faithful to the original version, whether it be a trans character or fan service. I can give a bit of leeway for the puns and the jokes that don't translate well, but I'd rather learn more about Eastern culture than you try to make a terrible joke that's not funny to begin with.
I chose a half measure when I should have gone all the way.
And now I automatically feel the anger. Both sides are mad at me, which means I'm right. One side because I'm very much pro-LGBT+, and nothing anyone can say is going to change that. Two, because I don't like deluded translators putting their ideas into stories that don't belong to them. Creators pour their hearts and souls into their work. A translator's job is to try to get that story out to a different audience as faithfully as possible. Trying to adjust it for modern audiences is stupid. Guess what? Modern audiences wouldn't have accepted Vivian 20 years ago, and modern audiences will have different viewpoints 20 years from now. They'll be upset at you, so you might as well do your job and not take advantage of foreigners because you think that you're better than them. Spoiler alert, you're not. One of the worst cases in recent memory was Lost Judgment. Great game. It probably has my favorite combat in any of the Like a Dragon games. There are issues with the story, but I still enjoyed it. There was one part when I paused the game and just started laughing. It's when some teenage girl called someone an incel. No, she didn't. I have Google Translate, remember? I told my wife, I bet you $20 that the word that she actually used meant virgin. And I was right. Just great. Use an English term that no other language would understand. All for internet brownie points with your stupid coworkers. Guess what? That's real cultural appropriation right there. Do what the American writer wanted, you American-centered moron.
Listen, you little wiseacre. I'm smart, you're dumb. I'm big, you're little. I'm right, you're wrong.
Now that might be a minor issue, but I've seen a lot worse. Just take something like Dragon Maid. A simple line about a dragon's human disguise and outfit becomes a criticism of the patriarchy. Now I haven't seen much of that show, but seeing the differences back to back is outright comical. The same thing could be said for something like Fire Emblem Fates or Tokyo Xandu or many other anime. It's just sad. Why change those things other than the fact that you disagree with them and want to alter them to fit your image? If you don't like something, don't agree to work with it. Oh, you need the money? Then do it right. It's your job. And it's not just that. Look at something like Star Wars, of all things. People might argue that removing Finn from different international posters isn't that big of a deal, but I would say that it is, in fact, a really big deal. Same thing with the same-sex kiss scene from Rise of Skywalker. Not that there was anything good about that film to begin with, but taking that scene out just to avoid offending countries that are anti-LGBT+ is wrong. I don't care what anyone has to say about that. It is immoral. But somehow, Final Fantasy XVI is awful for staying true to the romance with Dion and Terrence and getting banned in other countries. And yes, I will die on this hill. I don't even care if it's not my favorite game ever. I just hate how everyone treated it. Now, people might argue that there's a difference between censoring fan service, changing dialogue to be more Western, and adding politics that was never intended for a scene, compared to removing people of color and LGBT characters from fiction, but I argue that it's really not. Censorship is still censorship. It has and always will come back to bite artists in the butt. As long as real people aren't hurt, I do not care what the author, director, or artist makes. It is not real. Let them tell the story that they want to tell, even if it has things in it that you don't like. There's a saying, I don't like what you have to say, but I'll fight to the death to defend your right to say it. And it's true. Free speech is absolute, even if it's hateful, even if it's stupid, even if it's wrong. If you want to shut someone down, make fun of them for their stupid beliefs, mock them. It's way more effective to make a joke than to be angry. Want to know why people are so anti-trans? It's because they're attracted to those people, and it makes them feel insecure. Oh no, does that make me gay? I don't know, probably. Just like what you like. There's not anything wrong with that. And people who change other people's art are just frustrated that they lack the creativity and talent to do anything other than alter someone else's work.
And that's all I have to say about that.
When someone says something ignorant, I laugh. It's way more effective than flying off the handle. Call me an incel for supporting fan service. Call me a cuck for being pro-LGBT. I don't care. This is the one cause I don't give any leeway with. Censorship is wrong. It's wrong when the government does it. It's wrong when companies do it to sell movies and games in specific regions. It's wrong when individuals alter someone else's work for a laugh. This is something I feel very strongly about. I'm just saddened by the fact that everyone is so quick to give up on their principles just to hurt their enemies. People were so fast to hate the faithful adaptation of Vivian that was always there from the start, and they were raging against localization forever. People were so gung-ho about altering foreign work because of their gynocentrism and because of their moral superiority complex, until it was an LGBT character. Stick to your guns, people. If you don't consistently stand for something, you're going to lose. It's why I don't give 1 inch on censorship in any form whatsoever. Vivian is still my favorite party member. In fact, probably my favorite character in the entire game. And that's not going to change because she was written great, and I'm glad that this new version of Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door was faithful to the intention of the creator. You're welcome to disagree with all this, that's fine. After all, everyone is entitled to their objectively wrong opinion.
Oh, that's real nice.